Well, I'm just going to say this. Before I get into the other stuff, when you lose a family member, no matter what part of the family they are, it's hard to not, um, it's hard not to grieve and not to think about them. When you lose an influential family member that you felt like could do it all and was everywhere that you were supposed to be, and that was entertaining but informative, that was a counselor, preacher, a man of many faces who wore many hats, literally wore many hats, when he represented the city where you are from in a way where he had highlights of pictures from local rap artists to one Sean Corey Carter, aka Jay-Z, or one Michael Jackson, the king of pop. You sad to see this person go. I am talking about none other than the legendary MC, advocate, activist, William Silver B. Richards. William Silver B., we know he was on 93.1 WZAK. You know, he MC'd everywhere. He was also his last stop before he got called home to the ancestors this week was here at voiceatradio.com. When I first started in 2016, that was February 1st, 2016, going on to this year, 7-8 years, I talked to EP, the show host, the CEO of voiceatradio.com, and another person about having a show in 2015. When I stopped and I was invited to the Voice of Radio family, and then I saw Silver B and his legions of people that he had around the table, the Edge Entertainment Royalty Roundtable, that needs to be retired here. I saw him and everybody else, and I saw some familiar faces, and I said that I was going to get a show here on voiceofradio.com. That was back in 2015, 2016. Headlines and headaches were born. During that time, I was with Silver B on numerous projects, from the Glenville Festival to other men's walks to other live broadcasts that we've done. I was also with him when he was at the MC for the when Shontel Brown ran for Congress on Shaker Square, where I a couple of feet where I live at now. We are celebrating the man's life, even though we're going to miss him greatly. I'm calling on my Voice of Radio family who have shows here to pick up where he left off. And I'm calling on my other radio show hosts from other stations to do the same thing. Silver B meant a lot to a lot of people, especially on this station. And to lose him is to lose one of the greatest, one of the Cleveland legends that we have here, one of the voices that speak for the voiceless. I lost many a mentor, Lynn Tolliver, Mansfield Frazier, Melvin Hutchinson, who was a colleague on a different station. Lynn hurt, so does this one. He's up there with Lynn Tolliver now. I actually saw a picture of Silver B and Lynn Tolliver together, both stables on this station. Last stops before they were called home. Whether you're a first-time broadcaster on this station or a seasoned veteran like I just heard Harry Boomer and Lillian Piles. Whether you got into this myself and thought, I don't know how long I'm going to stay to being here for years through the ever-changing times. The one thing remains the same. African-American media, black media is always prevalent and present, especially now in these changing times. There's been a lot of people that passed, not only Silver B shows, but mine as well. Some of those people got on their own shows. Laura Kyle was a guest on Silver B show and my show. She got her own show, Laura Kyle's Empowerment Hour. Silver B helped support Dolores Gray. Silver B helped support Sisters of the Now. Silver B had his own show here every Wednesday. And he was always in the mix. And I'm saying I am proud to have known William Silver B. Richards. I am proud to share the same microphone as him at this particular very time. I am proud that I learned things from him. Even when we disagreed on something, I am proud to hear the teachings of this benevolent man. And at age 69 years old, he is now gone. I've seen the pictures of people that have pictures of him that have been there, that have done what they've done and things of that nature. I've been there to where he's been at every single event. I knew that he was going to be there. I'm going to tell you the story about Silver B. This is more like there's two stories. Now, how we met was weird because I used to sing. Like I said, my stage name was Sir L. And before that, I was on this thing called Showwagon. Showwagon was for teens and people in their early 20s who had talent. And I sang, and he was there doing the emceeing. After we did Showwagon, we always did what we needed to do. So, and then we met I did another talent show. My thing was Genuine's #1 fan. I sung that song. And then, lo and behold, my second song was R. Kelly's Turn Back the Hands of Time. At that time, it was before all the stuff came out about Mr. Kelly. I'm just going to leave it blank. We not talking about him. We talking about Silver B. Silver B was there doing the emceeing as usual. He remembered me from that show. You know what he said to me once? You should have been on television. Well, my YouTube videos hopefully suffice because every time that I download myself on YouTube on this show and others, I see myself on YouTube on television, especially in the digital age that we have now. 216-772-0500 is the number that you call in on voiceitradio.com. The show is sponsored by the Adams Board. This also is guided by the heavenly hand of Silver B at this particular point in time. Weird that I would be, like I said, I thought I would never share this, never. I thought, okay, I'm just going to be honest with myself. I thought I wasn't good enough to share the microphone with these Cleveland legends, but I realized the simple fact of the matter is, once you put your talent to it, you can do anything. Anything's possible. Anything's possible! So no matter what you may think, you can do anything that you set your mind to. Weird thing about this whole situation. I don't want we just got a great thing in sports just a few hours ago before I stepped foot over here. We just got something else. But the thing I want you to remember, more recently when I saw him, actually Silver B stopped here on a Thursday. Yep, I said a Thursday. It was maybe close to a month ago. He had to redo his show. So he said, where are you at? I just slept outside. I was just here. I was listening to your show and I The one thing that Silver B always complimented me on, and he did this to everybody, he complimented me on how I can smooth transition from one story to another without skipping a beat. Yeah, he didn't know. I told him I learned it by watching him. I picked that up from him. He had command of the room, no matter how many he could. Silver B could have a whole ass band in the station. He had entertainers, everybody, people could speak for maybe 30 seconds to a minute. But when Silver B spoke, he had command of the room. He had command of the whole room. That's the one thing that I respected about him. Nothing, no phones, no nothing. He had command of the room. Somebody else said that. And I noticed that every time his show was on, he had command of the room. And the outpouring love and support from our community, our African-American community for Silver B. I'm going to say this to the city of Cleveland City Council and Mayor Justin Bibb. I seen them at the Stephanie Tubbs Jones ribbon cutting ceremony where they renamed Patrick Henry School to Stephanie Tubbs Jones. Today, Labor Day weekend's coming up. We all know that the Shaw Harbor Union is coming up as well. We all know that the Labor Day parade is coming up as well on Kinsman. We all know that there's going to be a lot of stuff. This is the last hurrah before fall. Of course, before everybody, goes crazy about Brown season. I am asking my city officials, the people we elected. By the way, I got to give 2 shout outs to 2 city council people. Kevin Conwell of Ward 8 for helping push to rename Patrick Henry Stephanie Tubbs Jones School, and him and Cuyahoga County Councilman Yvonne Conwell, along with Cleveland City Council President Blaine Griffin and City of Cleveland Councilman Joe Jones of Ward 1. Joe Jones and Lewis Moore were the ones that found Silver B and got him to the hospital. We thought that we was going to pull through. I understand thousands of people, including myself, try to see him, but it was no avail. Now he's in his final resting place. He is with the ancestors. I got to give those men a shout out. I give those men credit. But everybody from Ward 1 to Ward 17, every single councilman from Richard A. Starr to Jasmine Santana to Kerry McCormick, to the McCormicks, the Stars, the Grays, the Blaine Griffins, and to also our mayor, Justin M. Bibb. Justin, you gave a day to Machine Gun Kelly. Everybody talks about, hey, you need to give we need to give a day to Bone Thugs and Harmony. But you also need to give a day to Silver B. A street needs to be named after that man, period. You need to name a street after him. You need to do something. Beverly Goldstein said, hey, Larry in Arizona, babysitting at the playground right now with 2-year-old Nathan. So sad to get this alert about Silver B. Had some great conversations with him. So very sad to hear this. I miss you too, Bev. Let me just explain something. As I'm getting so many alerts. Let me just explain something. From entertainers to politicians to elected officials, Silver B touched everybody's hearts. From every single person that interviewed with him, talked with him, sat down with him, introduced by him. Shout out to Sir Knock for putting Silver B past the mic. From the Cavaliers championship parade in 2016 to the festivals. To anything small and large, you knew that you was going to see Silver B in the mix all the time. You knew you were going to see him at some point, whether he got there by plane, bus, train, automobile, whatever. Silver B was going to be there. He was also a counselor. He was also giving respect to young men who were going down the wrong path. And he loved every single person that he talked to. And to Silver B's family, I know that you're going through it. I talked to his sister today. She had called me, and I thank her for it. And I know she was going so fast because she has to bury one of her siblings, her beloved brother. But we are sending our prayers out to his family. And we need to pray for ourselves because the simple fact of the matter is he considered us family as well. He considered this station family as well. The people he worked with, he considered family as well. So the thing about it is that he considered us family. I know we're hurting right now. I know we're grieving right now for this man. We did that. We understand that death is a part of life. Understandable that there's a dash between the year you were born and the year you were died. I think Dr. George Fraser said it best when he had to bury his niece. And he said that what you do in that dash is how people will remember you. And what Silver B did was he did what he was supposed to do. He entertained and he educated. And he had people, he didn't not share the spotlight. He shared the spotlight with other people. He did it almost every single weekend, just about. He shared the spotlight with people. There were people all around the place. He bring people in like, I want you to talk. I want you to talk. You're going to talk. You're going to talk. I remember the Christmas party we had at the other building, and he was there. And I set it up. I remember the Christmas party. He was there, dancing, entertaining, eating, talking. He was Silver B. He was in the mix, and having a damn good time, dude. He always had fun wherever he went because he cared about the people that supported him, and he supported them right back. Let me check something here. Yes, he did, LaToya Crenshaw. Romina Foster, thank you so much for recommending a street be named after Silver B. Our Councilman Joe Jones planned before passing, making Silver B a Senior of the Year in Ward 1. We are still going to do that and more. Romina, we need to have a sit down with Joe Jones to make sure that the other councilmen know and the mayor knows that we are on the same page on this. I'm taking a break. This is Aaliyah. I miss you. Another legend gone. I'm sure he has a picture with her as well. I just don't know where. So we'll be right back, and I got some more breaking news. I'm going to talk about the Cavaliers and Serena Williams and all that on Headlines and Headaches on VoiceItRadio.com. We'll be right back.